control of the police at North Library from 12 to 2. We'll be covering everything from the reconstruction up to the fight for police accountability today. You can find me or anyone else in CPAC gear if you are interested in the event or in getting involved with us. And while you're at it, you can sign for CPAC. Join us in the fight for community control, and all power to the people. So since I'm in CPAC and TTC for J, we're going to do a quick little TTC for J chant. So it goes, MPD kills on patrol. How do we stop them? Community control. MPD kills on patrol. How do we stop them?
Community control.
MPD kills on patrol. How do we stop them?
Community control.
All right.
Thank you all for joining. We are here live on the south side of Minneapolis off of 28th and Longfellow at a protest sort of drawing the connection between the struggle here in Minneapolis against the Roof Depot, which is this building up in the top right of your screen,
Community control, so please check us out February 26th.
and Cop City, which is also something going on in Atlanta. The connections are being drawn because of environmental racism, and right here in Minneapolis, we are close to Little Earth, which is the largest urban indigenous community in America. And we are very close to Little Earth, and we're going to hear some of the residents right now.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you everybody for coming out here, joining us. My name's Nicole Perez. My Indian name, or my indigenous name, is Wabigonizikwe. I am from the Red Lake Nation. I am a resident of Little Earth. I'm a grandmother, a mother. You know, I kind of wanted to speak a little bit more about myself and who I am. I'm a person that cares about my community, really involved with my community. I care about where I'm raising my grandchildren and my children, and that's where I became involved here with the demolition on the Roof Depot, caring about the environment. It's so unfair. I'm really, really, really hurt about what's going on in our community. We live 1 block away. You know, when this demolition goes down, they're going to make all of us very, very sick. We cannot stand any more pollution in our community. We just cannot tolerate it anymore. We have asthma, we have heart disease, we have elders with COPD. We are sick. Once my granddaughter was diagnosed with asthma, I start asking our community members at Little Earth, how do I give this medication to her without having to hold her down, without having to traumatize her and myself? And I start realizing all of my neighbors' children, their grandchildren, their sisters' children, themselves, my neighbor, they have asthma as well. And they're struggling. Just a day-to-day life, every day, it's hard. You know, I just gotta most of all say that I'm just very hurt that we're supposed to hand over our future, sorry.
We got your back. We got your back.
Our lives over to council members. The city council has that power to make this decision for us. We live here. Why don't we have any word over this, any say over this? I am so hurt. I am a grandmother that cares about my grandchildren and where I'm raising them. That's why I stand up. That's the reason, is that somebody has to speak up for where we live. I don't understand where Mayor Frey came and went on television, the news, and said that his plan is to reduce pollution in our neighborhood. Now you tell me that this building, him demolishing that building and putting a parking lot for 888 vehicles, large diesel vehicles in our community. How is that supposed to lower pollution? Now you tell me, does that make any sense? I don't know what lies in our future here, but I know that we have to stand together to fight this. We need to fight for our future generations that'll be living in this neighborhood. We have to come together. You know, East Phillips, as I was talking about how our community, the statistics say that East Phillips has some of the highest rates of asthma, lead poisoning, and heart disease in Minnesota. We are tied with North Minneapolis. I see these types of cases every day living in the community that I live in. I just can't read this anymore. I just have to say what comes from me. Thank you. I want a lot more for my community than what we are being offered right now. Just please, I really appreciate everybody coming today. There's a lot of hurt in our community. And I hurt for the people that live here. I guess that's all I have.
Another round of applause, please. What do we want? Stop demolition. When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Stop demolition.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Stop demolition.
When do we want it?
Now.
All right. Thank you. So next we are going to have CJ from the CJC. Say that 5 times fast, I can't. So round of applause for CJ, please.
They don't give a fuck about us! The same assholes that want to clear cut a forest in Atlanta so that cops can get more trained to kill people, so that corporations can make more money. The same assholes that want to tear this down so they can sell the lot on East Hennepin where they can do the same shit while hurting fewer people, while not throwing arsenic into the air. The same assholes who derailed the train in East Palestine and started polluting their community. They don't give a fuck about us! And we're gonna make them give a fuck about us! We're here today as part of a national week of action with the Atlanta Forest. But we're also here today for East Palestine. We're also here today for North Minneapolis and their bullshit with the incinerator that's getting kids sick, that's killing people. And Jacob Fry, he don't give a fuck about us! At least 7 members of the city council don't give a fuck about us, and we know that now. They need to stop pretending. Thank you, Nicole. And like I said, we're gonna make them give a fuck about us. Yeah. We're gonna stop this shit because we can stop it. Because they don't keep us safe, we keep us safe. Yeah. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who the fuck keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Thank you so much. Defend the depot. Defend the forest.
All right, thank you, CJ. Defend the depot!
Defend the forest.
Defend the depot!
Defend the forest.
Defend the depot!
Defend the forest.
All right, next up we have Rachel from the Leonard Peltier campaign and from the Red Lake Nation who offered to speak. Thank you so much.
So now you Red Lake, huh?
I'm not Red Lake, but Tanse, Gananaskamotan, Nanaskamotan, Upsis, Nanahiowa, Upsis, Rachel Thunder. I say hello and thank you. Thank you to each of you and all of you. My name is Rachel Thunder. I'm Plains Cree Nihio Nihiowak Treaty 8. And Thank you for having us here today, having us share these words. Thank you to Auntie Nicole for keeping this fight going. I want to wish her happy birthday. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nicole. Happy birthday to you. I'm a member of the American Indian Movement. I'm a community member here in East Phillips in South Minneapolis. You know, I really just got involved with this fight and this work just here in the past couple of months, and learning about this urban environmental injustice that's taking place here in South Minneapolis. And this is nothing new. This is not anything new. This same cultural genocide has been happening for over 530 years since the beginning of colonization. It's taken different shapes and different forms, and this is today's form. This is today's fight. And I want to thank all of you, all of these different organizations, supporters, and allies for coming here to support us as the Indigenous people as we take this stand. You know, when you hear environmental injustice, you think of, you know, maybe out somewhere in the rural areas, fights that are happening on reservations, fights like Standing Rock, like Line 3. But the earth is everywhere. No matter where we stand as people on this earth, we're always here standing on our mother, on the Mother Earth, and that's no different here in South Minneapolis. The city council and the government and these systems of oppression, they only care about one thing. They care about power.
We have the power.
We have the power.
We have the power. The people have the power.
The people have the power. The earth is the true power. That power that they think they have is money, and that's an illusion of power. They created this illusion because they don't have any real power. The real power is with our Mother Earth. And as Indigenous people, that's where we get our power, is in that connection and that grounding with our mother. She's the real power. Not this illusion, not this system that they formed to control our people. And we're here today, and we're not going to back down. Here over this next week leading up to their scheduled demolition, you're going to see us. And you're going to know in our words and our thoughts and our prayers and our songs that we're not going to back down. We're going to make a stand here. We're not going to let this happen. This land that we're standing on is stolen land. This is native land. This is our land. And not just Indigenous people, but this community here. This land is for the people. And we're not going to let this kind of environmental racism continue to kill and poison our people. And we're going to take a stand here, and we're going to stop this. Not just for this generation today, but for the next 7 generations to come. So I just wanted to thank you all again for coming. Keep an eye on what's going on here. Keep an eye on these social media accounts. Keep an eye on your phone, because there's going to be a call coming, and we're going to make a stand.
Thank you so much, Rachel. All right, everybody. So, in preparation for the future actions we're going to have here, we're going to take a little march to 27th just to see the Roof Depot. And we also have a call to action for you all. We want you all to show up here and keep an eye out for texts from us. Keep an eye out on what's going on in this space. We want you to put your bodies on the line with us, because we will be here this whole week. You know, we're going to be watching this space, and we're asking that you guys join us here. It takes all of us. So, yeah, we're just going to get going on that march. All right. Whose land? Whose land? Whose Whose land?
Where's that red blinker at?
Defend the forest. Defend the forest. Defend the forest. Defend the forest. Defend the forest.
So again, we're here live in Minneapolis, where a march is about to take place. As you see, this banner is basically "Defend East Phillips, no demolition." This building behind us, or in the screen, excuse me, in front of you, is the roof depot, along with that watershed joint. This has been a spot of years and years of struggle against this plan, this proposal to demolish the site. The site is filled with arsenic from back and decades and decades ago. And so people have been struggling to fight against the demolition and for an urban farm here in this area. The city council passed a proposal like last year, I think, to not go with the plan. That was vetoed by the mayor, Jacob Fry. And then with the new city council, they passed 7-6 a month ago the plan to demolish the site with a memorandum of understanding that gives other reasonings as to why. But also, supposedly, some concessions for the community. We have a new post up on our article, a new article up on our website, unicornriot.ninja. Check that out for more information. We'll get more into the facts of this case in a little bit.
No good cops in a racist system.
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 Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like.
The city's posted large no trespassing signs. On the land where the roof depot is.
What do we want? No demolition. When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
No demolition.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
No demolition.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
No demolition.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
No demolition.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
No demolition.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
No demolition.
When do we want it?
Now.
Defend the depot. Defend the forest.
Defend the depot.
Defend the forest.
Defend the depot.
Defend the forest.
Defend the depot.
Defend the forest.
Defend the depot.
Defend the forest.
Defend the depot.
Defend the forest.
Defend the depot.
Defend the forest.
Defend the depot.
Defend the forest.
Defend the depot.
Defend the forest.
Defend the depot.
All right, round of applause. We made it. From the walk.
So this on the left side is already the Hiawatha Public Facility, Public Works Facility, where the city uses to bring their vehicles in and fuel up. Their plan is to demolish this building, and the watershed behind it, underneath this building, is filled with arsenic from decades of construction work back in the day. It's been an EPA Superfund site for a long time now, and so this is basically
My name is
the site.
Tracy. I organize with the Climate Justice Committee, and I want to thank you all for coming out today. Behind us, this roof depot building, they plan to demolish imminently. They're giving us a date. They aren't clear on when. But we hope that you will mobilize again when that happens. You can follow us on Climate Justice MN on Instagram, on Facebook, and find out and mobilize. It'll be last minute. We won't know, but it'll likely be very early in the morning. So I hope that people are getting ready and that you plan to join us. We need as many people here as possible to watch what's happening. We need people who are willing to defend the area with their bodies, but we also need supporters. So we hope that if you are not following us today, you start. If you are interested in getting more involved, the Climate Justice Committee is having organizing meetings. If you have an interest in getting more involved that way, come find me, CJ, B afterwards, and we can get you looped in. But it is imminent, right? You can see behind us, they are clearing the area, but we don't think it's tomorrow. That doesn't mean it's not Tuesday. So start planning, start prepping yourself to get up really early in the morning, and we hope that you will be here with us.
Thank you, Tracy.
All right, I have the honor of introducing Mike Forsha, as I was speaking earlier. He is the chairman of the AIM committee. Mike, where you go? Oh, there's Mike.
Miigwech, it's an honor to be here today, and I just loved hearing what everybody was saying, and you have to take that to heart. You know, one of the first things I always say when I'm talking to a large group of people is a message to the non-natives, to the white people. You know, all those years ago, and that's what we're talking about, what happened, and we're always told, get over it. It's a long time ago. But believe it or not, all those years ago, when my ancestors were being forced into the boarding schools, forced off their land, there were actually white people, non-natives, who helped us, who felt empathy for us. And I would like to think that most of you here today are the descendants of those people. Now, there might be one or two or three of you here today whose ancestors might have done some horrible, horrible things to my ancestors. But what you have to realize is you did not do it. You were not here. You didn't do it. I wasn't here, and it didn't happen to me. The animosity that we feel, it comes from the fact that you all are still benefiting from what happened all those years ago. And we and my family and my people, we're still suffering. And we don't blame you. But we have to dismantle this racist system that has been put in place. That's what we have to do. We have to come together for that. And so we don't blame you for what happened. You didn't do it. It didn't happen to us. And right now, my community is in a state of perpetual mourning. We lose someone almost every single day to this opioid crisis that is happening. And we need some help. We need your help. And we're out here begging every day. We're out here with our Narcan. We're trying to save as many people as we can. And then after the George Floyd riots, the cops didn't do anything. They said their hands were tied. I have a video of a cop who was telling me straight out, the city, the county, the mayor, the city council, they don't want us to do it. Because if we were to pull him out, they don't want the city to burn. They don't want Lake Street to burn. So they didn't do anything. They weren't doing anything. No wonder why the crime rate rose. No wonder why the opioid rate, because they wanted to save their jobs. And when people said defund the police, that scared everybody. Because we know we can't defund them totally, but that's why Mayor Fry won re-election. And so before Brian O'Hara was hired here as the new chief of police, me and members of my community walked with him through Little Earth, and we told him our collective stories. And I told him my story. I told him I know what it feels like to have a knee of a Minneapolis cop on my neck, that I won a $125,000 settlement from the city of Minneapolis for the lies that the officers told. So right then and there, he asked me if I would be the one to introduce him when he was hired and sworn in. And when I did that, we had some drummers there. We sang 2 songs. I said, now this next song that we sing is sang at all major Native American events. We call it our national anthem. So if I can get you all to stand while we sing the AIM song. And they did. They all stood, every one of them. The mayor, Keith Ellison, the city council. It was unprecedented. And so I'm willing to be arrested when we stop this, because we will stop it. And things are going to be happening. And so I need everybody to remember this phone number. It's Jacob Fry's personal cell phone number. 612-968-4443. 968-4443. Because he doesn't know that he has messed with the wrong community. He will learn. He will learn soon. And those city council members who voted with him, let's just say they made a mistake. And they're going to have a chance real soon to rectify that mistake. So I appreciate everybody being here. I was an honor to speak today. And yeah, let's just keep it up. Keep it up and pay attention to what's going on. Miigwech.
Thank you so much, Mike. And I just wanted to get that phone number again one more time while you're here. 612-968-4443. So everybody, give him a call right now. Give him a call right now. 612-968-4443. Or just send him a text saying, "Stop the demolition, you asshole." 612-968-4443. Thank you, Mike, for sharing this. Excellent. So now we've got one more chant. City Council, shame on you. Native people have rights too. City Council, shame on you. Native people have rights too. City Council, shame on you.
Native people have rights too.
City Council, shame on you.
Native people have rights too.
City Council, shame on you.
Native people have rights too.
City Council, shame on you.
Native people have rights too.
All right, and next we have Crystal from the Environmental Justice Table up to speak. Thank you so much, Crystal.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Crystal DeAlenkar, and I'm with Minnesota Environmental Justice Table, fighting another environmental justice battle around the Herc incinerator, which burns almost all of Hennepin County's trash on the north side, in a neighborhood that is similarly to East Phillips, made up of mostly low-income, working class, and a majority Black and brown people. We have a petition to shut down the trash burner. We'd love you all to sign. It's currently going around. People who are holding those clipboards have them. These signatures and petitions matter, so please help us sign them.
Need 15,000.
We need 15,000 signatures.
We got this.
We need it by the beginning of April. Thank you, Akira. Thank you, my colleagues. Exactly. So first and foremost, I want to extend my condolences to the family and friends of Manuel Teran, who went by the alias Tortuguita in Atlanta. I was thinking a lot about their alias, Tortuguita, which means little turtle. I read that they chose this name as a nod to the colonial era indigenous military commander of the same name. Michiquaniqua, Little Turtle, was chief of the Miami tribe in 1791. He led an army of over 1,000 Miami, Shawnee, and Delaware forces to one of their most decisive victories against the U.S. armed forces as they tried to conquer their tribal lands in what is today's Indiana. Because of the breadth of skill, strategy, and strength of these people who knew their land and their forests best, hundreds of soldiers from the U.S. militia's camp fled. The artillery's potential firepower was never utilized as the artillerymen fell dead around their cannons, cut down by Little Turtle's warriors. This was not the first time these tribes had defeated U.S. forces, but this defeat was so powerful, so detrimental, it led to a complete overhaul and reformation of the United States forces into what is now the United States Army. According to the article I read, Tortuguita was reluctant to have this information publicized because, quote, "That does not make us look like peaceful protesters. We are very peaceful people, I promise." Tortuguita was then shot and killed January 18th. As we all stand here today in solidarity with Atlanta and all the environmental justice fights across the country, I think about this battle that entailed the solidarity of tribal forces and the solidarity it will take locally, nationally, and globally to win against oppressive imperial forces continuing to decimate our people and land. My mother is from Puerto Rico, a current colony of the United States, and my father is from Bolivia with Brazilian lineage. Both sides of my family have deep roots of resilient indigenous and black peoples, and when I think about the paralleled experiences of brutalized colonialism of my family's lands to the ones here, I'm also reminded of the rebellions and revolutions that have won because of solidarity, much like that of Chief Little Turtle. These battles are not only won, they're never forgiven. These global North capitalists continue a genocide on racialized and poor people, making that message clear. They still have not let Haiti forget their revolution. They still have not let Cuba forget their revolution. But the lesson here is not that they will never let you win. The lesson here is what solidarity can do for our movements and the way in which it prevails. Many of us are so busy and exhausted with surviving, but we can build our capacity by joining forces, building relationships, bridging into coalition. They will not let up because we are exhausted. We will also not accomplish liberation in isolated fights. Chief Little Turtle understood this and won. Tortuguita understood this with their allies in the forest who continue to fight. The poor, working class, and indigenous and black-led uprisings in the global south understand this and are currently winning. Brown, black, indigenous people are currently taking back power all over the global south, kicking out oppressive classist and racist governments, breaking their ties to the global north, who put those governments there in the first place. We are seeing a monumental shift like no other. We can build our capacity with solidarity, and I hope to, because modernization hasn't saved anybody. Instead, our world is on fire. Instead, in the year 2023, we still have over 500,000 of unhoused people and starvation in the richest country in the world. Air pollution, as it improves for affluent regions and people in the Twin Cities, still kills over 1,500 people, 16 times more than homicides. So I ask the city and all the technocrats and people who trust the city and the experts, how can that be if modernization in our government serves the people? I challenge those people to really think about the research and histories of environmental justice and sacrifice zones in this country and abroad, and then come back and still say they trust when the city says demolition of the roof depot over a Superfund site of arsenic and expansion of its public works facilities, adding hundreds of more parking spaces for more diesel trucks won't add a hint of pollution. In East Palestine, Ohio, after a major toxic spill from a train derailment, the EPA still says the air, water, and land is safe while residents are stepping outside to dead animals all over their yards. I beg of people to trust the only experts that matter, the people who are living and breathing evidence of their circumstances. I will continue fighting with the most oppressed peoples, and I hope we can all build solidarity amongst our fights. It is the only path to peace and self-determination, so we are no longer just surviving, but living. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause. So this next chant goes, City Council can't hide for long. When we unite, our voice is strong. City Council can't hide for long. When we unite, our voice is strong. City Council can't hide for long. When we unite, our voice is strong. City Council can't hide for long. When we unite, our voice is strong. All right, I'm going to introduce Muffin from Minnesota Defend the Forest. Round of applause.
Hey everybody, I'm from the local Willani Atlanta Support Society here in Minneapolis. I don't need to tell y'all more about what's at stake, both here at the depot and at the Atlanta Forest. Y'all have been listening, you know about it, but what I want to do first is extend an invitation to all of you. This week is a National Week of Solidarity with the Atlanta Forest. March 4th through 11th is going to be the week of action in Atlanta, and it's going to kick ass. So if you have the ability to do so, consider going down to Atlanta from the 4th to the 11th. There's going to be a music festival. There's going to be activities from kids. There's going to be activities in the forest. If you have a tent, if you can make other accommodations, if you got a crew of people, if you want to go and meet some kick-ass people, get online and read about it and think about going down there to Atlanta, because it's the 5th week of action and they can use all the help we can give, we know. So give that a thought. And number one reason for going, I checked the weather forecast, it's going to be 69 degrees tomorrow in Atlanta. That's what I call nice, right? So think about going to Atlanta. While you're still here, like I said, you don't need me to tell you what's at stake. We just got to get with our people and pump ourselves up. Are we going to tolerate more pollution in our neighborhood? Give me a hell no! Hell no! Are we going to tolerate more police in our neighborhood? Give me a hell no! Hell no! Are we going to let them demolish the depot without a fight? Hell no! Now, let's think about this. Are we going to build a community that our kids can live in and be healthy, and that our kids' kids can live in? Give me a hell yeah! Hell yeah! Are we going to stop Cop City? Give me a hell yeah! Hell yeah! Are we going to give it everything we got to defend the depot? Hell yeah! You've been looking at this and what they've done over the past week. We got all these no trespassing signs up here, like they're trying to make the biggest one, as if this isn't already stolen land. On the other side, they fence things off, they put concrete blocks up, as if the people with the biggest machines automatically win. I don't think so. They may have big machines, and that may win sometimes, but we have more people than they do. Am I right? They can poison us. They do poison us. They assassinate us. R.I.P. Tortuguita. They cannot kill our vision for a better community. It's up to all of us. So if you want to join the organization to help get involved, like the Climate Justice Committee, do that. If you don't want to join the organization, that's cool too. Get with your friends. Get with your people. Make a plan. Make a plan to defend the depot. Make a plan to stop Cop City. When we fight, we win. 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 Thank you, everybody.
Right, thank you, Muffin. And as Muffin was saying too, the Cop City funders, the main people who fund that, are the same people who funded the railroad that derailed in East Palestine. So there is a huge connection between the environmental racism occurring in Atlanta and the one occurring in East Palestine. The fight continues, and so what is it? A better world is possible? I keep forgetting. We are unstoppable. A better world is possible. We are unstoppable. A better world is possible. We are unstoppable. A better world is possible. We are unstoppable.
A better world is possible. We are unstoppable. A better world is possible. We are unstoppable. A better world is possible.
All right, you guys. Last up, we have Cassie from the East Phillips Urban Farm, who is going to be speaking today. Cassie?
She's on her way.
She's on her way?
I was just given these sheets because the city is not really going to alert people if any arsenic or health issues happen in this community. So the East Phillips Neighborhood Institute's Health Committee made this link tree that people can follow and sign up to get updates if something like that happens. So I'm going to be passing these out, but I'll give it over to Cassie now.
Bonjour, relatives. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Bonjour. So I'm here with some of my family, my nephew, one of my dogs, some of my great nieces and nephews. I don't know if y'all heard my story, but I've lost a child to environmental injustice. I have a best friend who lost a child to environmental injustice. I've been saying this numerous years with many tears, many outbursts, and now I'm a little bit like, I'm tired. Still fighting, but tired. And I'm just like sitting here listening to other people talk, and they talk about the name turtle, and they talk about animals, and we all know we're on Turtle Island. The story of my people is when the flood came, it was a turtle who turned on its back to give us that support. It was a muskrat who went down and got the land to give us back land, gave its life. So we're not only fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for our companions, our animals, the ones that help us through all this tragic and hard times. I didn't think I had many tears left, but I started this fight because of my son. Because I had to bury him. He was 16, he was amazing, he was awesome. And then I watched my best friend bury her daughter. And the reason why I still go is because I don't want anyone else to be a part of that. I don't want anyone else to be a part of that club who loses a child. Because it's the most horrible thing you can ever go through, ever. And I appreciate everybody who's here today, and I appreciate people who came from Atlanta. And I'm sorry for your loss too. But I don't even know what else to say. All I can say is we got to keep fighting. We have to think about our children. This is going to reach our children, and it's going to affect them from generations to come. And we're suffering now. We literally went to the mayor, to the city council. We were on our knees, and we were begging, don't do this. And now what they're doing is we're on our stomach with our face in the mud, and now they're stepping on us. And that's what they're doing. They don't care about us. So we do need more voices. We need more people. We need to stand up in their face. And we need to come out in numbers. And I do that for them and for all the other kids in my community and for all the kids in the future, because this is something that can start. This vision the community has is something that can be seen all throughout the country. And they're passing this up. And they just want to do what they want to do. Money and land means more to them than the people. They never meant, when we first met with them, they never meant to ask us what we really wanted. They showed us pictures of already what they had and said, tell us what you like best. So we showed them our pictures and said, well, you tell us what you like best, because this is what we want to do, And they never planned to work with us. I know re-elections are happening, and I know we need to contact people in those other wards of the people who voted against us. We know some people who voted for us this last time on the council never voted for us, and I think they used this as an opportunity, knowing that we were going to lose, but wanting to make themselves look good. And I feel like that's really what happened. So re-elections come in, we need to hold them accountable. We need to know what platforms they stand on, and we need to make sure that we remind them of that every single time we see them. So thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you all being here, and thank you for fighting. Miigwech.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Cassie. She's been on our board, the EPNI board, the whole way, and unstoppable beacon of leadership. So thank you so much, Cassie.
Thank you. All right, no more secrets, no more lies, no more silent money buys. No more secrets, no more lies.
No more silent money buys.
No more secrets, no more lies.
No more silent money buys.
No more secrets, no more lies.
No more silent money buys.
All right. Well, thank you guys all so much for coming today. Please keep an eye on your phones this week. Please follow us on all platforms. Follow the Climate Justice Committee. Follow the East Phillips Urban Farm, and just keep in the loop on what's going on. We'll be keeping that updated. And like Tracy had said, it's likely going to be at the very crack of dawn. It's going to be an early morning call. So be prepared this week, please. We need your bodies on the line. We need your support. And last but not least, whose land? Native land. Whose land? Native land. Whose land? Native land. Whose land? Native land. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. Thank you, Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar, for coming out and co-hosting. All right, thank you guys. And thank you so much to the people of Little Earth for your speeches and for sharing your stories. Thank you.
All right, thank you all for joining. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. Thank you so much, Alex, for running the back end. I'm going to try to grab an interview before we go down. Again, we are here live outside. I'll give you a quick recap. We're here live outside of Roof Depot, a Superfund site, EPA Superfund site. On the left side of your screen, you see the city sort of Hiawatha Public Works facility. They're trying to expand the Public Works facility by knocking down this building, along with the next building on the far right, along with the watershed up in the top left of your screen. Underneath this area is toxic arsenic plume, even, as I said, being labeled as a Superfund site by the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. This rally today was a march between, or a rally between connecting the Cop City struggle and this Roof Depot struggle. Basically, Cop City is a police training facility they're trying to build in Atlanta. They're trying to knock down an old prison farm, an old plantation turned prison farm turned forest, back to the forest, and their plan is to knock that down to build a massive cop training facility. This here is just essentially not a cop training facility, but going to be a city facility for vehicles in an already heavily polluted area of East Phillips, which is like 25% white and the rest not white people. So it shows a lot of people where the city is focusing its efforts on to pollute. On the north side, as you heard one of the speakers, there's incinerators on the north side, there's other recycling centers on the north side. Is causing massive amounts of asthma in Minneapolis residents. I'm gonna try to grab an interview and we'll be back to conversing in a short second. Well, it's great. I'm live right now. We're gonna give you a hug. Let's do it. How long are you gonna be around? Okay. I'm gonna catch up with you right when I get down. Sweet. Yes.
Everybody wants to be us now. That's not even true. Don't even start that. Don't even start
I'll send you
go right over here.
Sorry, what's your
All right.
Unless you want Cassie Holmes instead.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool too. If you want to do both.
Yeah.
Hey, yep. I'm gonna grab an interview real quick.
It was funny because you walked on autopilot there when they said that everyone was like, what?
How you doing, Mike?
Good. Okay. So one guy literally just had a cannon.
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Hey, I was wondering if Unicorn Riot might want the when we have a plan. It would be nice to have first call.
We just back.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay. What's the best way to reach people on short notice?
All we do. Can I connect it to you right after. I'm doing
Yes,
interviews.
of course. Oh, yes, of course.
No worries. And I'll connect with you and then I'll give you my number.
All right, sounds good.
Yes, they're trying to do a web page for us. I'm trying to get this other person to do a web page and stuff from Rainbow Village. But I don't want to do too much. Nothing's going to happen. You know, they're like, well, do you have funding? I said, well, give us the land back and the money will come.
Hey, I'll come over there.
Cookie?
No thanks. Thank you, though.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Hi.
Well, sweet. Hello. Nico. No worries. Come on over. It's over here a little bit. So we can get out of the, get some audio. So you want to hold this if you can?
Sure.
I know you just spoke.
Snotty.
Okay, it's all good. But basically we're live right now.
Okay.
You want to give people sort of a rundown of this has been a struggle for a long time.
For a long time.
And obviously you even have, I'm so sorry to hear, your family has struggled from this.
Yes.
Specifically environmental racism from what I'm hearing. You want to just break this down. What is this struggle about and why is the city not care?
So again, the city just, and in their natural form, just don't care, period, ever about my people or really any BIPOC, but with the Native people. And really what they did was they threatened an eminent domain without the community knowing by getting this property, because the community already had funds to buy this property. And the owner himself told us that they threatened eminent domain, so he sold it to them. And he did charge them a little bit more.
And then they asked the community to pay back millions of dollars?
Yeah, so what they did was when we realized what was going on, we called them out, then they had a meeting.
And when was this?
This was, so many years ago, I can't remember. They forgot all of Little Earth.
Yeah.
But they had everyone else come. So Little Earth found out, we went over there, we raised hell, then they came and had a meeting. Then they were like, let's have an advisory guideline advisory committee on this, and that's when they invited us to the table under the guise of like listening to us and asking us what we wanted as a community. But in all reality, what they did was this is what we have, like what you want, and then we're gonna move forward, period. That was the way they invited us, and we said hell no. And then EPNI was formed, the East Phillips Neighborhood Institute, because they told us, go back to your prospective communities and come back to the table and let's talk about all your ideas. And we're like, no, that's like a divide and conquer tactic. We already know as a community what we'd like to see here. So we'll sit here now and we can talk about that. They didn't like it. We even had one of the city staff actually scare at the time our state representative, Karen Clark. Because he was talking about a law that she passed. It's a state law that's unique for, it's a state law that's unique for East Phillips. It's the Clark-Berglund law. It's the Clark-Berglund law, and it has to do with environmental justice and cumulative pollution. He was talking about that, and she had corrected him. And he got mad and told her, she don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, I wrote the bill. I know what it's all about. So he attacked her, and we were like, we don't want to be part of this anymore. You guys are very violent. You're not listening to us. So we got EPNI going. We contacted a lot of people, and we're here now fighting. And what's sad is I had Mayor Fry, before he got into office, look me in my face and tell me, I support East Phillips. I support EPNI. When I get in office, I'm going to see what I can do to help. He looked me in the eye and said that. And now today, when we went to a meeting with him about 3-4 months ago, he looked me in my eye and I told him, I don't want to bury no more children. I'm tired of the kids in my community dying. Sorry. I get choked up every time. It's so sad. But he just sat there and stared at me like, yeah, yep, I hear you. And to have him sit there and stare at me while I'm holding one of my great nieces I raised in my arms, who has a brain shunt and has asthma, for him to sit there and just stare me in my eye like he gives a shit, but then he turns around and he does this. So what he's doing is he's killing us. He's killing us. He's slowly killing us. Not so slow for others, like I've already buried a child. So we're still fighting. We're just asking that they let us have a chance. They had an opportunity. They still have an opportunity to put this idea of theirs somewhere else. A whistleblower from their office, from the city, showed us a paper that they had a whole nother site and it would have been a lot cheaper for them to put this idea in. And they are totally saying that whoever wrote that from the city don't know what they're talking about. So they're putting down their own staff, but we know it's true. And we won't give up that person because we respect their privacy, but they're just fucking us over. I'm sorry if I don't know if I can say that, but they're fucking us over. They don't care. They just don't give a shit. And we just have to do whatever we have to do to fight for ourselves like we always do.
Well, thank you for that. Real quickly, so I know Chavez and another city council member worked to get a memorandum of a different...
Johnson, Andrew Johnson.
Yes, thank you. Chavez and Andrew Johnson worked to get sort of, was it compromise in a way? Or
It's always a compromise.
Yeah. So are you okay with some of the things that came out of that? What is your thoughts around the compromise?
I feel like what they're...
Understanding?
I feel like what they're asking us to do is to say, you know what, you're going to give us 3 acres, you're going to give us some scraps, and then we're going to allow you to pollute us then. Like, that's defeating the whole purpose of the fight. Even if we didn't get our plan there, we don't want their plan there. That's going to pollute us, that's going to kill us. They're going to dig up, they're going to knock this building down that's holding down arsenic that was so poisonous, so dangerous that they dug up over 500 homes and businesses in East Phillips of all this soil. That it was so bad. And then the mayor told me, I don't think the arsenic is that bad. That's what he told me. I said, are you talking about the same arsenic that the city had dug up over 500 plus homes and removed, and they were all wearing those big white safe suits? Like, that's not that. Oh, no, yeah, that was, but not this. But it's the same arsenic. And so I don't like the MOU. I don't want to compromise. It's like me going and asking my neighbors, is it okay if your child has a shorter lifespan? Is it okay if your grandma has a shorter lifespan? We already have a short lifespan. Native Americans, our elders are 55 years old and up because our lifespan is so short. Not at 65 like everyone else. So I don't like the MOU. I don't want it. And I'm not going to ask my community to compromise the lives of their families because for 3 acres of land, when we should have it all. So
two last questions, and thank you so much for taking this time. If the city is to move forward and they do complete the operation of demolishing this building, what do you think happens? The second question is, if the people stand up and potentially stop or delay the demolition of this building in this area, what do you think happens?
So I think if they complete this, it's a scary thought, because I honestly don't know if Little Earth would be able to survive this, or East Phillips, because of we're so impacted, so much toxic pollution that we have this special state law I talked about, right? So if this happens and we're already suffering the most, like Karen Clark, our former state representative for over 30-something years, she has a board that shows it, flip by flip, and she shows parts of Northside and then parts of East Phillips, our East Phillips, and every time you flip it, there's asthma, there's lead poisoning, there's strokes, there's diabetes, heart disease. It's all concentrated on Northside and in East Phillips. So that's just now. That was actually years ago. So if that happens, I'm really deathly afraid, and I don't know if we'll survive that. And if we do, our children are going to feel that. And there's always this guy who told me, like, our ancestors loved us so much. He said they never even knew us, but they loved us and they fought for us, and that's what we have to do today for our future. We know they're going to exist, and we love them already. So if it don't happen, I feel like, and this is me just having this hope still, is that maybe we'll have a chance with new council members coming in that will support this, that actually want to follow what the city says, community input, safety for community. Supposedly Mayor Jacob Fry just met with UNICEF and was talking about a kid-friendly city, which we know that's not true. So maybe we can live up. They can live up. We're already living up to that. Maybe they can live up to what the city is saying about their communities and their constituents. And we may have an opportunity, I hope.
Word. Well, thank you so much. Anything we're missing? Anything else you want to say?
That, I don't know, just that animals are sick too. Our animals are dying. Our animals are sick. So, and our companions, and they're the ones who give us comfort. And so we have to think about them too and respect them. We have to remember to respect all of each other and our animals. So. Thank you for being here.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Nico, by the way.
Nico. Okay, nice to meet you.
I can't believe he likes me like that.
Yeah.
He stared me in the face.
That does sound really in line with the historical content. Like, we can't trust.
He stared me in my eyes. He was just like this, like, I hear you. I'm with you. And then he tried to look sad. And then he tried to give my baby toys. And I'm like, have those been cleaned? Because I don't know who else touched those. And I don't want her you know, putting stuff in her mouth. And he's like, oh, just forget it then. And he grabbed the toys and walked out. He came back, but he still just, he always does this. So I have no trust in our mayor. He's not my mayor. I try to support him, but I even spoke for him. Can you believe that?
I know.
I spoke for him.
That's okay.
I went to the city council and spoke for this man when the city council was trying to take more power from him. And I thought he's going to do the right thing because he looked me in my eye and said that.
But
and
guess
now,
what? We have 200 years in this state of being able of evidence of the fact that we cannot trust them.
Yep, that's
the
true.
fact that he lied to your face. They've been lying to our people for hundreds of years.
That's true. So, yep.
I wouldn't have took his toys either.
All right.
Hey, thank you. All right, you all. Thank you so much for joining. That was a bit of conversation right there with Cassie, a Little Earth resident. Again, this action was to draw solidarity between the fight in the Atlanta forest, as well as the defending East Phillips. The East Phillips, again, this defense, we have an article on the website, unicornriot.ninja. In the background of what you see is a building and a watershed joint. The water tower is set to be demolished in the near future, potentially February 27th, potentially sometime before that. The community is rallying to try to get support to defend the plan. The plan has gone through contentious phases of years of contention. Check out unicornriot.ninja, as I said, for more on this more information on this struggle. Again, thank you all so much for joining. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. We are a non-profit 501c3 organization, and we are only able to do this because of your support. So thank you all. If you like our work and you would like to support us continually, and you're financially privileged, please feel free to go to unicornriot.ninja/donate and think about becoming a recurring donor. Otherwise, thank you so much, Alex. Check out our website and our Twitter feed, UR_ninja. Check out our Instagram, YouTube, Vimeo, Mastodon, Telegram, and TikTok. We're going to take off for the day. You all take care. Or we're going to shut the stream down, for the day. You all take care and have a good night. Again, check out unicornriot.ninja. All right, thanks, Alex, for running the back end.